Brown.
And I'm Mark McCuller.
And this is Mark My Words. I feel like I kind of stubbed my college experience with bouncing around. If I can go back and do it all over again, then I would have stayed at Free Art. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Mark My Words. Got episode 2 with your host, Mark Brown.
Mark McCuller.
All right, so Quay, man, obviously with, everything that's going on in the world, man, COVID, social injustice, we're getting back in the swing of things. We got school opening up, jobs and things like that. I mean, what's your insight or what are you thinking as we're as kids and college students, student athletes are preparing to get back in the swing of things?
Man, I feel like right now, everybody's just excited to go back. I know from the Clarksville standpoint, I know the private schools is going back, and they've been like doing camps and clinics and stuff like that, and everybody's in the gym a little bit.
Right.
I know Austin Peay like it's going back in, and they are doing the workouts and stuff, and then also too, I start up school the 24th of August. So I mean, everything I think is going back smooth.
Right.
A transition with it. So I feel like everyone was excited about it, and they just looking to get stuff done.
Yeah, and it's my biggest thing is or my biggest insight is the adjustment. You know what I mean? Is as far as the health protocols and the social distancing and the phrase that you're hearing is the new normal.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So whether if it's athletics or just college or school life in general.
Right.
Not to dive too deep in it, but what do you think is the I guess the biggest adjustment that you're seeing that's going to be made?
The biggest adjustment that I know for a fact is just the social distancing part. Like the wearing the mask, the having the face shields and stuff like that, and also too, just the way it's going to be made. Like as far as some of the classes are going to be virtual. Like and some of them is in class and stuff like that. So it's gonna be like an adjustment upon the parents, on the kids, and the teachers too as well. So it's gonna be different.
Right. One of the things that at Cumberland, where we implemented this summer was, we did virtual strength and conditioning.
Oh, okay.
Which was kind of different, which I think we spoke of it on last episode. Do you see that kind of becoming more popular?
Yeah.
Whether it be training in school or even outside of school,
As you stated though, it's called the new norm. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like everyone's now understanding that, okay, look, like when I go to each store, I gotta have my mask on. I see that sign all the time now. So even times, I gotta get accustomed to. If I'm going out in the public or something like that, I try to have it already on me. You know what I'm saying? So I know it's a different type of feel now.
Right.
Adapting is like very important. And we got to make it do what it do, like and making stuff happen.
Right. Well, speaking of adapting, as or transitioning. I mean, let's talk about college experiences, which it's a lot different.
Right.
The college experience or even high school experience that students and student athletes are experiencing now is not even close to what you and I may have experienced. But let's dive into to your college experience.
Man, my college experience first, man. It was 2011. I was coming from Clarksville, Jackson, Tennessee. I'm sorry, and I was a freshman in college, so I didn't have any offers, no interest, no nothing. So I'm trying to play basketball, and I went to Austin Peay, and like I was going to practices and trying to get on the team and trying to walk on, and like I tried out 2 years in a row. And after that, I was just a rec league player, and like playing hard in the rec league and trying to compete and trying to get a college scholarship.
Right,
you know,
right.
I used to send out emails all the time, every day, and then I received like it was a tryout. So it was at Shawnee Community College.
Right.
And I left there. I left Austin Peay 2013, 14 maybe, and went there for a year. And it was a transition from like not even being on a team to going to like a practice like in a college setting. So like I'm coming from a regular league player. I wasn't doing all of that, like the conditioning, all of the knowledgeable of the plays, the not knowledgeable, all that type of stuff. I was just it was like a street ball, the type of mindset going in. So I was empty minded. But on the transition of it though, it was good. You know, I learned a whole lot, and by being there, it taught me like a lot of things about myself, and also too, it helped me out with my grades and all that type of mindset. So it was a good transition for me. It was a good one.
So you speak on, you know, your first 2 years at Austin Peay. You know, you're working out. You know, you're trying out. You know, for the team. You know, didn't have much success there, but the difference I'm seeing, you know, at Austin Peay. You know what I'm saying? It's, you know, what can I do to help Quay? You know what I'm saying? You know, I got to get bigger, I got to get stronger, I got to get faster. I got to tune my skills. You know, I have to develop. You know what I'm saying? Opposed to, you know, you get to Shawnee and it's not so much just about Quay now. You know what I mean? It's how can Quay dwell or blend into this group. So how, you know, kind of explain that, you know, one phase it's, you know, I'm just worried about me. I'm trying to make the team. I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to do this, that, and the third. Opposed to now you're in this group setting and it's, how can I be a leader or how can I, you know what I'm saying? How can I be this piece on this on this team?
And it's funny that you said that uplifting other players. See, so I was coming into Shawnee, okay, with the mindset of I just want to be here. You know, I want to be here. I want to play. Who can I help out? Like, I was just eager to be there. You know what I'm saying? And like, I worked harder than everybody. You know, I did, but I didn't get a fair shake. You know, and that's okay. But while I was there, I knew all the plays. I mean, I was always on time. Stayed in the weight room. Did what I needed to do in the classroom, and it made me a better person. So, man, I used to help out the players on the team. So when they was like struggling in games, and when they was like missing out upon like film or study sometimes like that, like and missing out upon that, and not even being there. Sometimes I'll fill them in on that. But I was always a helper, so it gave me a different the type of love for people, as well as too is it showed me too. It's not just about you, you know. It's a team effort, you know. Yes, at your old school, it was about you like trying to make the team, trying to do all this and that. But okay, now you made the team, okay, and it was a different one. So now it's about pouring into other people, and helping their lives out.
And so I'm gonna throw a sidebar at you. Do you think the transition within those two phases has helped you as a trainer, as a coach, as a developer of young athletes?
Absolutely. You know, I mean, I look at it just like this, man. If I never would have chose that junior college route and changed my mindset from that Division I, trying to make that to like the team or whatever like that, to going junior college at a country town with like nothing is there. The first year, you know, I mean, I'ma say it, but I had to learn everything like the hard way. You know, I mean, it was like, okay, early morning workouts, you know, and being just dedicated. So on that on the end of it, it helped me out as a trainer. I learned everything I needed to know from at the college standpoint, you know, to help out the younger kids along the way. So oh yeah, I learned a lot from the coaches. I made a lot of connections with that, and it helped me out along the way to help out many players along the way too as well.
So man, so there's a in the basketball realm or the basketball world, you know, via Twitter, and there's a hashtag that I've become you know, new to.
Yeah.
And it's you know, JUCO product.
I got you.
JUCO life.
I got you.
You know, before I dive into, you know, my college experience, you know, when it came to, you know, recruiting, and, you know, formula lists or just kind of really diving in or digging into schools that were interested. I'll be honest, you know, in high school it was, you know, I'm 4 year or nothing. You know what I mean? You know, I don't, you know, I wasn't, for myself, I wasn't too fond of, you know, the JUCO route or you know, 2 year school, because I'm just like, you know, go here for 2 years and then boom, I gotta, you know, leave in a year or two, and then you have so many guys within that 1 to 2 year gap that are trying to, like, you know, going back to your stint at Austin Peay, you know, and this is I'm not, you know, I'm not you know, talking individually or, you know, not saying, you know, JUCO has bad apples, but, you know, my insight at the time was, you know, well, if I go here, you know, for 1 or 2 years, you know, now am I competing against opposing teams? To some degree, I'm competing against my teammates as well, because we both trying to, you know, that's not our last stop. You know what I mean? You know, we're gonna be here for a year or two. And we're still campaigning for that 4 year.
You got to.
No matter what level it is, Division I, Division II, III, NAIA, whatever. You get what I'm saying? But that was my mindset. It was, well, I don't want to go somewhere for 1 or 2 years. Yeah. And it's almost like I'm competing against opponents, actual opponents, and then my teammates as well. Yeah. You know, just kind of tell me about that.
Yeah. So certain players, okay, that I train needs to go for a year, the first year. Right. You know, some kids are Division I qualifiers, but skill wise they are lacking in so many areas. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So when I have players that really have the potential to do great things, I advocate for that first year. Go there, develop. Right. Especially if your high school coach, I mean, and no disrespect. Right. I mean, especially if your high school coach not helping you out the way he needs to be doing it, you know what I'm saying?
Or she.
Or she. You need to have some sort of development. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. And to me, that's the only way. Right. If you want to go higher.
Right.
You know?
And then it can also be flipped around. You may have a kid that's physically or skill wise they're ready, but academically you know, they may not be able to ready to, you know, or prepared to go take on you know, the academics at a 4 year school.
So. And just to add on, a Division I classes are totally different from a junior college class. Size of it, you know, and like some people are just not just ready for that big college experience right now coming from high school. Right. You know, so I mean, you got to take all that in consideration. Right. So yeah.
Well, yeah, man, I would say, you know, my college experience was a little different. You know, I was in a position to where, you know, I had a group of schools that were, you know, that were interested. You know, I had several offers to choose from, and before I dive into my actual decision, I mean, it's, you know, it's a funny or not so funny story I like to tell, man. So, man, believe it or not, I kid you not, Man, I did not know what the ACT and SAT was. I didn't know what that actually was until going into my senior year of high school.
Seriously.
Senior year of high school. So when you look at it from a broad spectrum, you know, I mean, you got kids today that are, you know, posting. I mean, you got middle schoolers, 9th grade, 10th graders that got interest and offers at the wazoo. You know what I'm saying? You got kids committing, you know, early. You know what I'm saying? So when you align that with a senior in high school, you know what I'm saying, that hasn't signed or committed, you know, you got what, you know, typically, you know, kids sign what, around a junior year ish, you know, generally. So, you know, I'm sitting, I'm at home, and you know, I'm in the gym working out, I'm practicing, I'm playing, preparing for my senior year, and I'm just like, man, like, why has nobody pulled the trigger?
Right.
You know, I'm getting these calls and, you know, texts and emails and people calling my moms and, you know, talking to my, you know, my uncle, just, you know, talking about people in my corner. And I'm just like, man, why has nobody pulled the trigger? And then a coach asked me on the phone. He said, hey man, what's your ACT score? Right. And I froze.
Dang.
I froze, and I'm just like, and man, you know, that's one of those life experiences that I'll never forget. But I froze, and at that point, I'm just like, man, when they offered it for free, when they offered it for free my junior year, like maybe I should take that more serious, but because I think it was, you know, the ACT free testing or whatever it is, and you know, at it was, you know, hey, come to school and take this, you know, free test, or, you know, or you exempt from school that day. I'm standing at the crib.
So were you knowledgeable of it or no?
Knowledgeable of it, no. I just knew it was a a free test being given.
I got you.
Now this is me thinking as a whatever 15, 16, 17-year-old kid. It was, you know, it's a free test.
I got you.
If you don't want to take the free test, you can stay home. So what I do, I stay home.
I got you.
But again, going back to my senior year, it was, well, man, like, man, you got kids taking the ACT in middle school now. Like I can't even wrap that around my mind. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man, you know, so I didn't take the ACT until December of my senior year. So now the clock is really ticking. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, you know, most guys are signing their junior year or the start of their senior year. So I just took this test, and now I gotta wait on the results. I didn't get my results until
February, March.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So by that time, now you got recruiters and coaches.
Right.
You know, if they not chilling, they moving on to next year's recruiting class.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or they may be looking for a big around that time. But, you know, typically there's not too many guards. You know what I'm saying? Or there's not too many schools that are waiting out on guards. You know, because guards coming down a dozen. You know what I'm saying? Like we can literally, you know, man, we can probably go 2 houses down. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And find a kid that's 6'2", 6'3", decent athlete. You know that, you know, guards coming down a dozen. So like it's March. You know, and it's getting pulls from, you know, smaller schools, but not what I want. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and I get that. I get the ACT, you know, I get my ACT results back. You know, I got a 20, it was like 21, 22 or whatever. And I'm like, cool, I'm good now. You know, where y'all at? You know what I'm saying? I got my results, now I'm looking at my phone like, what's up? You know what I'm saying? But then I found, and even now as a coach, you know, it doesn't necessarily work like that. You know what I mean? Like, you know, around this time of the year, it's as far as recruiting, you know, if you're looking at a guard, it's somebody that you've honed in, and if they're still available, it's almost like you're waiting on them. Right. And so that led to, you know, my decision of you know, choosing Freed-Hardeman, which is an NAIA school. So, you know, I went there, and man, by far best basketball program and coaching that I've ever had since I picked up a basketball. And that's, you know, it's no offense to you know, anybody that's trained me, coached me, or been in the gym with me with a basketball.
Right.
Man, Coach Jason Sheldon, man, he was a wizard, man.
Right.
Offensive wizard. He was under Don Meyer, the great Don Meyer.
Right.
As far as school wise, it was, and school wise, and the town I was in, it was small town. It was different, and and I had a hard time adjusting. Coming from the city, coming from Nashville, then you transfer to a smaller town, a smaller city. And it'd be different, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you have some of these Division I schools who are in smaller towns, but, fan base is crazy.
But that's how I was too, though, when leaving Austin Peay and leaving Clarksville, it was like a bigger type of city, and then transitioning to Ullen, Illinois, and the closest places is Carbondale,
right?
Illinois, where the Salukis at.
Right.
It was like a transition too as well, and like you stated, before you, it was a good the coaching staff.
Right.
The same exact thing with us, like I had Coach Carl Johnson, Coach John Sparks.
Right.
I mean, and Johnson, his dad and the son was on the coaching staff.
Right.
It was a great experience. So I look at it for the upcoming people, upcoming players, NAIA, D2, D1, JUCO, wherever your skills lie,
right,
there we go. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want to go to a college at any level like that, for free, you got to take it.
Right.
You got to.
And it gave me a different perspective on college basketball because it's growing up it's D1 or nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or even if it's not that mentality, it's just that's the forefront. That's all you hear. When you go to these AAU tournaments,
Division I.
When you go to or even if it's amongst your homeboys, you know what I'm saying? It's D1 or high school play days, whatever it is, it's D1, it's D1, it's D1. So
all the time.
And going to free, man, it definitely gave me a different perspective, a broader perspective on college basketball. Not so much of the school itself, but competition.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like, D2, NAIA, D3, ain't no slouch. You know what I'm saying, man? It's great college basketball, and it's great college basketball players, and it's great college basketball coaches.
As you say, my bad. As you say, as a sidebar, who was the hardest team that you faced?
Man,
or the most competitive team?
Man, at Freed, I would say, I'm gonna give you two teams.
All right.
Because I respect folks. First one is first one is Mark Methodist College.
I got
all right, man. My first 2 years at Free Harder, man, Martin Methodist was stacked. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna throw a name. And you really in the basketball world, probably know this name, James Justice.
Yes, I do know James Justice.
James Justice, he's a
slam dunk contest.
Man, he was a starting guard for Martin Methodist.
Is he like 5'9"? What, 5'8", 5'9"?
I say James probably. I give him 5'10"-ish.
5'10", okay.
You know what I mean?
Right,
but
5'10".
or 5'11", whatever. I mean, by far the best in-game dunker
at 5'10"
I've ever seen in person.
Best.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm talking about dude can get off the ground. I'm talking about that's the quickest I've seen in game. You know what
Slamming
I'm saying? I'm not talking, going to an NBA game and watching John Morant. I'm talking about actually being on the floor playing and seeing a guy as close as I am to you jump off the ground like that and do something crazy in the air. But yeah, James Justice was a starting guard for that team. And he was just as good of a player as he was as an athlete.
Right.
And basically walking into college, that was a guy that I was those were the type of guys I was matched up with. You know what I'm saying? And you know, going back to, you know, the Division I and you know, D2, NAIA comparisons and all that, you know, and this was a guy that went on into the slam dunk college basketball slam dunk contest and he won it. And this is a 5'10" guy coming from an NAIA school. Small. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, just matching up with guys like that, man. There was another guy named Michael France at Trevecca. Man, he just had a knack for scoring the ball. But the other school was Shorter University. They're the Division II school, so it was an exhibition game for us. But man, my sophomore year, that's probably one of the, or just basketball period, that's probably one of the worst whoopings I've ever taken. Excuse my French. But man, they had some great basketball players. But then they were some dogs. Like, it was just some dogs. You know what I'm saying? Just some guys that, you know, some guys I'll take and play with me anywhere. Which leads back into my experience. I ended up leaving Free Hardeman and transferring to Shorter. A guy that I looked up to growing up was a grad assistant on that staff. And so, you know, spoke with him. Entered the transfer portal, spoke with him, you know, went down for a visit, you know, one thing led to another. And then, you know, now I'm at Shorter. But my stint there was very short because, you know, I go from being a key player in a rotation, you know, even a starter my sophomore year, you know, all conference. My freshman year, I was an all freshman team player. Until, you know, I get to Shorter, and it was just like, you know, the cliche, you know, the grass isn't always greener. I learned that at Shorter. You know, not to get into, you know, any specifics, but simply put, it didn't work out. You know, and I found myself, you know, what is this, December 2013. You know, I found myself getting my release, and now I'm back in the transfer portal. I actually had a hiatus. From December 2014, I ended up transferring to Cumberland, but there was like a 1.5 year gap, you know, where I'm in school or I'm home working. So I get to Cumberland, and, you know, I'm excited. I'm back playing. I'm back home. You know, family, friends can come out and support. But it was a lot different because of so many things I had experienced from, you know, being a 17, 18-year-old kid, making a decision, I'm going off to college. You know, now I'm 2.5, 3 years plus in, and I've already touched 3 schools. Right. You get what I'm saying? You know, I've dealt with 3 different coaching staffs. Right. I've had, you know, I have 3 new sets of teammates, you know, and now, you know, we ain't talking offenses and, you know, stuff like that, but with this experience, it's just, you know, I'm going into Cumberland, and it's different now. You know, one, it's my last year. You know, got to make the most of my last year. Right. You know what I'm saying? Kind of going back into, you know, you at Austin Peay is, you know, I'm thinking about me. I got to go out with a bang. I got to put on for my family. You know, I'm trying to graduate, this, that, and the third. But at the same time, you know, I'm a senior. I'm walking into a leadership role as an older, experienced guy. And, you know, now I got to help out my younger guys, my younger teammates, and to be an example for them. But at the same time, it's, you know, I feel like I kind of stubbed, you know, my college experience with bouncing around. Right. And you know, not, you know, just kind of honing in on one situation, you know, one group of guys and just making the most of that. Like, I'm gonna be honest, man, if I can go back and do it all over again, you know what I'm saying? Man, I would have stayed at Free Hardeman. And it's because, like I said, it wasn't so much of basketball. It's like I said, I was having fun. Some of the best basketball I've played, some of the greatest coaching I've ever had, teammates that I formed lifelong bonds with. You know what I'm saying? Like teammates that today
Right.
I still talk to every single day,
Right.
every other day. But it was, you know, well, you know, I don't like this, or it's boring, or, you know, the town's not big enough, or, you know, or even on a basketball team, I'm not playing as much as I need to, or, you know, man, I think I'm better than this guy, or man, I am I better than this level? You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm thinking all these what ifs, and I'm forming all these preconceptions in my head, rather than, man, like, you made it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You made it. Like, you know, pick up your phone and call 10 of your homeboys. I'm talking about your real homeboys.
Right.
How many of those guys can say, man, I graduated college. And
Not that many.
I graduated high school. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm on to college, getting my school paid for,
Right.
and I'm playing college basketball.
Right.
Out of those 10, how many can say that they doing that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Free education, and I wake up every day, I go to class, and I go to the gym.
Good.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
How many guys can say that?
And that's the mindset to have, dog. Is being appreciative.
Right.
You know, like a bunch of people are not appreciative in the situations that they are in. You know what I'm saying? Like as you stated, at a NAIA school that was competitive though, and you there.
Right.
You know, free education, free mealing, you know what I'm saying, all of that. You know, but many people don't get the opportunity to go play college basketball.
Right.
But I mean, I look at it like this. If you get the opportunity, take advantage of it. Take advantage of it, learn, do what you gotta do.
Right.
You know, build the lifelong relationships with it, and go from there after that.
Right.
So I like that.
Yeah.
Like that.
Do you think in high school, as far as you as well, Quay, that you're just told to keep your grades up for the sake of staying on the team, rather than them giving you information that's going to take you to the next level? Because I know you said you didn't know about the ACT until your senior year, which makes me think, like, dang, is nobody telling him to, you know, help him out further on?
Right. I think if it's explained, you know, properly, or in depth, or you know, if coaches or administrators, teachers elaborate on it, I see two things that can happen from that. One being, you know, at the high school level, you know, got to go to class, got to pass your classes,
Right.
you know, to play. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to be that kid with his school uniform on,
Right.
while your teammates out. You know what I'm saying? You on
Right.
a bench in your school uniform.
Right.
You don't want to be that guy. But you know, moving forward towards college, I think if it's explained, you know, to high school kids, it can prepare them for the college level. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, at that level, you know, you have to maintain
Right.
that 2.5 or 2.3
Right.
or that 2.0
Right.
to remain eligible. So, or if I can give any advice to, you know, any coaches or
Right.
parents or trainers, whoever, you know, when we're talking to these kids, you know, let's tell them why. Don't just tell them, hey, get your butt to class,
Right.
or I need you to, you know, uphold a C or B average.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Tell them why.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because again, you know, as a coach or just as somebody for to mentor kids.
Right.
You know, I'll talk basketball drills and plays. I talk about that all day. My thing is,
Right.
I won't be able to sleep well at night if I allow a kid under my wing to not know what the ACT is,
Right.
to not know what
Yeah.
how his GPA will play a role.
Right.
Like GPA plays a role in recruiting.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, you know, it's a reason why they
Right.
it's, you know, the phrase is student athlete. You get what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right. So that meant, and just to pick, like, but just to add on, when I was in high school, I'm not gonna lie to you, like game days and stuff like that, we didn't do no work. Like, I mean, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
like we not doing work like that. I'm going. I got my earphones in, like, and we are focusing in on the game. So sometimes it was like the lack of teaching, and the really just pampering a little bit like that too. You know what I mean? and it kind of hindered us in the long. I mean, it hindered me
Right.
For the preparing to college. I mean, before college, and so I used that that I was doing in the past. I use it now I learn from it. You know what I'm saying? They like it now. It helped me, as you stated, as a mentor. I don't want to lead another person off. You know,
Right.
so I learned from what I should have been doing, and I help out the kids right now, like along the way. So I make sure, as you stated, that they're like you learning the ACT. I mean, at least you taking some practice test for it,
Right.
as the prepping for it first. Staying like educated and knowledgeable of your schoolwork, and being upon not just upon the top of basketball,
Right.
but life and like school too as well.
Okay.
So I feel like this right here, like if you knowledgeable of it, you can get a lot more done.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not, it's harder for you to do a lot of things.
Yeah.
As far as incoming freshman wise, as far as college wise, as far as all of that.
Yeah. I read an article on, the NCAA potentially doing away with ACT and SAT requirements, for athletes. And man, I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of, up and down about it. As a recruiter, if I gotta bypass asking a kid, for ACT, SAT score, it's just kind of like, now that's one less requirement I have to worry about. But at the same time, if this kid is not, especially me at a private school, coaching at a private institution, if the kid is not, doing so hot in high school and doesn't have the ACT score, what good does throwing away that academic requirement, what good does it does that student athlete at my institution? Right. What you think?
I feel like next year, I mean, as far as the waiving ACT score goes, I feel like it's good is because of a lot of players. I feel like this way, that doesn't determine what I'm going to do in college. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like even if I make a like a 14, 15, whatever like that, I don't feel like that just it stops you from achieving in college.
Right.
So as far as them like the waiving it goes, it gets a lot of it gets the nervousness off a lot of players.
Mm-hmm. And coaches.
And the coaches, because I was one of the players to where I was like nervous about the ACT. I'm like I get like nervous, anxiety about the test.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and everybody does. I mean, I'm not gonna say everybody, but I know I do. It's common. Yeah. So it gets the monkey up off their back, and they can really focus in upon school and ball.
Right.
And go from there with that. Right. But it definitely though it gets the nervousness out of them.
Right. But I think it'd be great, as far as, recruiting or being recruited.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's one less thing you have to worry about.
Right.
My only concern is, now we don't want to put those stereotypes or stipulations on. Oh well, Mark, he only made a 16 on ACT, and only has a 2.8 GPA.
Right.
Is he going to hold up here at our institution?
Right.
Definitely don't want to put that stereotype on a kid. However, if we waive these ACT and SAT scores for kids that may not be as academically sharp, what programs or what's going to be in place for that kid? You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we're going to college to get a college degree.
Right.
So a kid that may not be as academically you know, shaped
right,
or academically, you know, as good in the classroom or things like that, placement classes ain't gonna get the job done.
uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, those prerequisites,
Right.
or those don't get degrees. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So there has to be some type of balance. Okay, yeah, this kid, you know, he might have done so hot on the ACT or SAT,
Right.
and now I can get him into school.
Right.
But okay, he's there. How you gonna help him do well?
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying, at your institution?
The high school coach has to make that decision based on their student athlete. Okay, so which meaning is this right here, like that coach has to put he or she in certain situations to be successful. So if you have like a good player and he's barely coming to class and he's barely, doing the work and stuff like that in class, then I feel like as the coach, that's on you too, for not following up and checking up on them and stuff like that. But I feel like as the placement wise goes and as the programs goes, it's just a lot of more alertness, a study hall, a type of stuff like that, and making sure that what everybody is up on their A game with,
Right.
with the education wise too.
Right. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you guys for tuning in for episode 2. Make sure you guys subscribe to Ball All Day. We'll catch you on the next episode.
Absolutely.